How's it going, everyone? Saito here, coming out with a video to kind of hit on a really recent topic that's been going on right now, which is it's been the recent topic going on these days has been free to play for fighting games, because everyone's been talking about like all the prominent like FG figures and stuff like that have been talking about the idea of fighting games going to free to play, and I figured I'd throw my hat into the ring of what I feel. I guess I'll go into two different camps on this. I'll talk about it in the me personally. I go into the more optimistic way of looking at it, and I'll also mention some of the more negative aspects of this whole. I guess what could happen, because it's a really strange topic where a lot of people are like really hesitant about the idea of free to play for fighting games because of things in the past or what other free to play games do, mostly mobile games do, and they go, oh, I don't know if I want that, so I'll try going both ends. First thing I'm gonna do, obviously, we gotta mention things like there are a lot of free-to-play games out there that have done really well, that like clearly are successful and make good money, are really popular and things like that. Like obviously, you gotta mention things like Brawlhalla. Like I personally don't care about Brawlhalla. I'd never play it unless you pay me. If you pay me, I'll play it, but otherwise, I'm not playing this game ever. I don't care. It has Ryu, and I still don't care. Like, I got into Fortnite. I got back into Fortnite because I had Ryu. I'm still not going to play Brawlhalla. But it can't be overstated how popular this game is. And it's a free-to-play, like, Smash clone. It's pretty much the only, like, Smash clone out there right now that's, like, or platform fighter that's actually making some kind of, like, popularity out there. Like, everyone can go up and down and scream all they want. Oh my god, what's it called? Everyone can go nuts and say, oh my god, Nicktoons is great, and Rivals of Aether is great. On my attention, I think Rivals of Aether is a great game, but I don't like any of the base like official roster. I had to play workshop characters to enjoy that game, but that's just me. But for Brawlhalla, like it's really popular. It's one of the most popular games out there right now. It's like consistently like always got hella players. So clearly, like it can work. You can make a fighting game free to play. It works. Obviously, you can't talk about free-to-play fighting games without talking about Killer Instinct. It's like, it'd be disingenuous not to mention it. In this game, well, I think about, I didn't say too much about the details of what Brawlhalla does because I never touched it, but I know for Killer Instinct is that it does the sort of thing where you download the game for free at the time when it was out, and it would rotate like one character for free. You could play like basically all the modes with that one character. But what was cool is that you could go into training modes and play every character. In case, like you could still try out everybody in training mode, but it would always rotate the one. So, you know, this week or next week, you know, it's going to be Jago. The next week, a few weeks after that, it's going to be like Thunder or Glacius and so on and so forth, which is cool. It lets you try out things, but while if you don't want to, like, you know, just buy the characters individually. Obviously, you could, and that's good. You can just always buy the characters if you want individually or as a whole. So that's cool. And it was really good. It was a really popular game, despite the fact all the things going against it. The fact that it was on Xbox One when nobody wanted to touch Xbox One. And then, like, it being a somewhat dormant IP that a lot of people aren't really familiar with these days. And all that stuff. Like, it still ended up doing really well. It was a really good game. I really hope they make a new one. Learn from what they did with this one and continue with that. The next free-to-play fighting game I can think of that right off the bat did a really good job with this thing was Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, as well as Last Round Ultimate, like the Core Fighters, like free-to-play version. A few of the other like fighting game commentators talked about this game briefly, but they all just focused on the fact that it had a ton of cosmetic DLC and didn't talk about the actual like how it did the service itself. I personally played the hell out of this game, especially 5. 6, it did the same thing, but 6 did it in a really bad way, and it was DOA 6, which had its own mess of problems. But DOA 5 did a really good thing, whereas that you download Core Fighters, and you got like normally it was like they started out with just being like just 4 characters you got for free. Like the base version of it was just 4 characters for free. Give you Kasumi, Ayane, Hayabusa, and Hayat. It was just like 4 really popular characters that people just want to play with, and they're all like pretty damn good too. I'm pretty sure like 3 of them were top tier, but so it gave you those characters. But they always had these little promos going on where they just gave away a character permanently for free. Like one point they gave away Lei Fang, another point they gave away Kokoro and Jan Li, and a few others. I forget who they gave because I just ended up getting everyone. But I remember when this first came out, when when it was first as DOA Ultimate last round, or DOA Ultimate Core Fighters before it became last round. I remember downloading this and just buying Akira alone. So it's like I paid like what $3 to get Akira, and then you get all the modes except for story mode, like the actual story campaign. That's the only thing you had to pay for in terms of like the modes. You got your versus local and online. You got all of the modes for that, like the tag mode, the team battle, everything. You got everything, all those modes. You got all the tutorials. You got all the challenges. Everything was there. All the training, everything was there. The only thing you didn't get when you got Core Fighters was the story mode, which is kind of like who cares. So that was great, and the game itself was like feature packed. It had a lot of features to it, and you could play like all these modes. And the game also did like a rotation thing for a while too, where like every 2 weeks or so, it just had certain characters like available to play for free with all the modes, whatever. And they usually were in like a theme, like the kung fu characters were this week, the ninja other remaining ninjas are this week, or so on and so forth, or big bodies and so on. DOA 6 is the same kind of thing, but the problem with DOA 6 is that it came with a lot of problems where the game itself was it didn't let you play like lobbies with your friends for like a good while when it came out. You could only play ranked, which is weird. And the characters it gave for the free version for 6 were just not good characters people wanted to play. So it ended up not doing so well. And I mean, obviously for the negative side of free-to-play things, we have to talk about these two specific games. We have to talk about actually, before we get into the negative things, I gotta talk about another game, a very recent one, which was Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, which basically was a free-to-play title for PS4, PS5. As long as you had PS Plus, which pretty much everybody has PS Plus for the most part, who goes online with PS4 games. So like it basically was free, and the only thing you had to pay for was an optional thing of cosmetic costumes and like stuff that was based like customization stuff. But all of the game was completely free. All the modes, all the everything was there. And they tried that out, and it was to great success. To Sega's surprise, they were surprised how good this did. And I hope that they learn from this and they do this again for the next Virtua Fighter or something like that, where they give you the game, all of the modes, all the characters and everything, and the stages and everything is free. But then the extra kind of stuff, cosmetics and stuff like that, that stuff makes sense to be, to pay for that. I personally bought the Yakuza pack when it came out because I got the original version for free with the other DLC that came out. I got it as like a promo code from the company. Shoutouts to Sega for that, but yeah. But on the more negative side, we have to mention these two specific individuals, which is what poisoned the well for this whole thing. In terms of fighting games, I know for sure these are the two examples people think of, which was Tekken Revolution and Soul Calibur Lost Swords. Ironically enough, it's both Namco Bandai games that had the really bad free-to-play things. Funny that they're also the only company out there that still sticks to their dinosaur mentality when it comes to things like rollback netcode and a bunch of other stuff and crossplay and so on. Makes you think maybe they're the problem here. But these two games did free to play really bad. They were incredibly grindy. The characters you were given, most of them were bad. You had to grind a lot to get them. It was pay to win, straight up. With Tekken in particular, you could like straight up you basically could pay to win in terms of like making your character like super powerful and just win for free. Not for free, obviously you paid money, but it was like crazy unbalanced. And then you had to like pay to play, which was another thing. It had like mobile system style like stamina system where you had to like wait a long time to play some more. Otherwise, you had to pay money to keep going, which was terrible. And Soul Calibur Lost Swords was all like, "Yo, we're a Soul Calibur always online free to play game with no multiplayer. It was a single player only thing." Like what? Who? Why? I don't know. That's how. So they did bad things. So now we're looking at things like Project L, and we're looking at Street Fighter 6 coming out at some point in the future. And Street Fighter 6 hasn't said that it's going to be a free to play game, but I feel like Street Fighter 5 was already trying to sort of be that for a lot of its systems at the time. So I feel like they could do that and it would work. Do it what Street Fighter 5 was trying to do with its free to play ish like systems where you grind to get cosmetics and stuff like that. But difference is that give all the characters, give all the maybe the stage. I don't know, who cares, but the characters and the modes and stuff should all be free. That's what I think both these games should do. Which is what I hope that fighting game companies in the future will look to that sort of way of thinking, where it's they want, or I want them to essentially have these games where you they give you the characters, they give you like all the modes you need for to play the game, and then the stuff that you would pay for is essentially like your personalization stuff. You want your special taunts, you want your banners, you want your costumes and all that stuff like that. That I feel is fine to pay for if you look at if I look at it that way, because at least they give the game, everyone can access it. That's the thing that would make it better. Everyone, the barrier to entry is no longer, oh, I gotta spend $90 Canadian to get in the game. Let alone if I like anything. On top of the $30-$40 season passes and all this other stuff. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane how expensive fighting games are just to get in, just to play. That's why making it free to play like this would be wonderful. That's how I look at it. But unfortunately, if those who have seen the fighting game roundtable from Japan a few weeks ago, they mentioned free to play, and they were kind of sitting around there at the way they were acting about it was ridiculous. They're sitting there like on their high horses, like ha 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 ha, would never do something like that. It's so laughable. It's the most out of touch thing I ever seen in my life. It's like, you guys are dinosaurs. No wonder like every other genre out there is moving forward, and they're still stuck in the past. They're still stuck like doing nothing to make things better. Hopefully, something like Project L and Street Fighter 6 like really shows their ass, and that makes them like go, oh, this could work. But then again, it's companies like Namco Bandai and Arc System Works and stuff where you give them an inch, they take not just a mile, they take the whole country. So I don't know. It's one of those things where it could be a really slippery slope if they start doing free to play. But only time can tell. But with that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.